Hi guys, today I'm gonna tell you the story of my trip to the United States to Extreme Benchrest 2021. It's the 10th anniversary Extreme Benchrest competitions. I managed to get the 5th place in one gun challenge, the 4th place in 50 yards bench rest, and I've taken silver in main event Extreme Bench Rest to 100 yards distance. This 2021 year was not easy for me because I've participated in all competitions of Club East in Russia and I've taken all gold there. Then I've participated in Rocky Mountaineer Gun Challenge, although I didn't succeed there, but I had a lot of friends there, got new acquaintances, and it was really interesting and very valuable experience for me, and I'm very happy that I was here. And that's the second trip to the United States. I had just 4 weeks of rest, if we can call it so, at home, and then I went back to the United States after Rocky Mountaineer Gun Challenge to participate here and this time. So I've shot several competitions. It was field target, with which we started the competitions, and it was just fun for me because I didn't prepared for it. I wasn't ready to shoot it. I just counted in my ballistic calculator the corrections for different distances, but it was just for fun and to participate in one gun challenge, not more, not less. Then I've shot a 50 yards bench rest, and I've shot speed silhouette shooting in sportsman class, where we are allowed to use magazines up to 18 shots or single load shooting. And I've participated in extreme bench rest, so 2 matches at 75 yards distance qualification, and if you pass the qualification you go to finals. So there's an opportunity to find out who's the best out of 160 shooters. Of course, that's very challenging and I couldn't miss it. Another problem I have here now is my United States visa. Probably some of you know my story of 2019, that it took me 1.5 years to get my United States visa here in Russia. Now, due to all this political stuff that happens, no any Russian can get any United States visa. It's impossible in 99%, I think, or even more. We don't have any ambassadors here that can give out any visa, so we have to go abroad and apply for visa there. And now my United States visa is over, and of course I hope that I'll be able to overcome all the sanctions and to get my new visa or to renew my new visa, but I don't know if it is possible or not, because due to all these COVID reasons, Europe is closed for entrance. For Russians, we can't get visas to Europe now, and the only way to get a United States visa is to go to Europe, to live there for, I think, a week or two, and to apply for United States visa, and probably you will be able to get it, to receive it. So it's rather complicated task, as you know. Well, it was my second trip in my life to Extreme Bench Rest, and I can compare it with Extreme Bench Rest in 2019. And I've got to tell you that, it changed. It changed a lot, and as it seemed to be, to me, attitudes of shooters changed, and although I tried to be independent, but my attitude also changed. I felt that, just people who organize it, they were not, most of them were not as friendly with me as it was in 2019 when I came there for the first time. At that time I was absolutely independent shooter, no one knew me, and at that time I took gold. And this time I came with FX Impact N3, and FX company helped me to make this trip live, because it was really too expensive for me to have 2 trips to the United States in 1 year, because just for Russians 1 trip to the United States costs generally not less than 2 months income of the family, so it's very expensive for us, really. And so I'm very grateful to FX air guns who helped this to come true and allowed me to compete here. And I represented Utah Air Guns team, shooting team, and I'm very proud of it. And probably all these components, so to say, of the situation changed the game. But I think that all this situation, all these business or political questions, I'm not the only person who feel it, because as it seemed to me, and as you can see from my video, this year there were much less shooters at Extreme Benchrest than it was in 2019. Probably one of the reasons is COVID restrictions, but I'm not sure. I describe you my feelings and my experience as I see it. Of course, I'm just a human being, and I can't be fully independent in my opinion and in my mind. So it's not 100% true, so to say. It's just as I see it. This time my trip was much more easier than it was to Rocky Mountain Air Gun Challenge. If you are interested in that real drama, just search for playlists on my channel and look for Rocky Mountain Air Gun Challenge 2021. It was extremely difficult to get to the United States that time, and now I knew all mistakes and tried to overcome them, not to repeat them. So my trip was really nice, but there were several accidents because I've transported my air gun and it was marked as a firearm, and I'm a lawyer and I know that according to international transportation rules, no one is allowed to open a gun case without its owner. But when I was in New York, security service opened it, but they cut away my new digital fingerprint locks, and only after that they called me using the loud announcement in the airport. So I had to prove that there's no any air in the air gun. I just don't understand why couldn't they do it before cutting my locks. Why couldn't they call me? So I had to make everything very fast, not to be late to my flight. I had to buy new TCA approved locks to be able to go further. And well, it finished well because I was in Arizona and my gun was with me, but of course it cost me a bit of my nerves. When I arrived, I came to Air Guns of Arizona to ask them to fill up my air tank. Great thanks to Shane Keller for giving me this air tank because I couldn't take it from Russia, and unfortunately they didn't have their air compressor working that time, but they helped me and filled up my FX Impact N3 up to 270 bar, it seems to me, and it was quite enough for the first day to go to the shooting range and to have some practice. I came in advance because there is 10 hours of difference, so I presume that I could have a jet lag, and I just had to practice to be well prepared for competitions, and that's what I did. It seems to me that in the second day when I was in the United States, I met Robert and he shook my hand and just wished me not to handle with the wind. Well, guys, I didn't expect such a strange attitude, so to say, unfriendly attitude. I said, okay, man, just it's your wish, it's your opinion, but I came here just to shoot and I don't want to be involved in all this, your business political questions, so just keep calm, please. That was a short and I think the only talk between me and Robert during these competitions, and of course I didn't have pleasure during it. Well, that happens. It's fine. I've met a lot of guys whom I communicated during my being in Russia and communicated with internet, Facebook, or my YouTube channel, and it was really nice. I really like American people because you guys are friendly, always smiling, and willing to help, ready to help. So it's really nice. I felt very good here. But from the other side, I felt a kind of mental pushing from, opposite team, so to say. Just a few words about 50 yards Benchrest. I've talked about in 2019 and want to repeat that. As for me, the rules are not quite fair, because first relay shoot all their cards, then second, third, and the fourth relay. And it's obvious that a first, second, third, and fourth relay are in different wind conditions, and this time the first relay was just without any wind, and the fourth relay shot in very strong wind, so it's obvious that the winners were from the first relay. As for me, all shooters should shoot first card, then all shooters second card, and so on. I think that I should mention about my airgun setup that was used here. So the airgun is a fixed impact M3 in 22 caliber, and thanks to Justin Jacobson, it's an owner of Utah Air Guns. He just put all the possible Saber tactical tuning to this gun as I've asked him to do, and I've made special weights for this gun to shoot with them. They were installed in rear part of the gun, and this time I didn't use my front weights. Just I wasn't able to take them with me because I would be very overweighted in this situation. So I shot 22 caliber and used GSB Monster Redesign pellets at 970 feet per second. You know, they did really well, and I want to say great thanks to FX Air Guns because they made special liners, barrel liners, due to my recommendations and to my will, to special technical parameters according to my experience to get the best result, and I think that it was really well. I used Kali's scope. It's partly sponsored by Kalis, we can say in such way, I think, because I bought it out, so it's my own scope and just I had a kind of discount. I'm very satisfied with this scope, and the optics is perfect, mechanisms just great, so it's premium like scope, and I just thought that I have only one eyes for all my life, and I don't want to save money on scope and just to make my eyes bad and ill, and that's why I decided to spend this huge sum of money to get that scope. Russian bipods that I used to sell in Russia and worldwide, they are very stable, firm, and I was very glad to see that several guys were using these bipods during competitions at Extreme Benchrest, and I've met several of them on Rocky Mountain Air Gun Challenge. Just they're very simple, they're very firm and rock steady, and they're very adjustable. So I think that it's a very good choice for shooting from the bench. I've used my RusBear scope cam to video record all the situations through the scope as I see them. So you have an opportunity to go through links that you will see during that video and to follow all my shooting that I've made. Field target shooting, Benchrest 50 yards, Benchrest 75 yards qualification, Benchrest 100 yards, and even speed silhouette shooting. Just a few words about speed silhouette. I clearly understand that there's no any way to win speed silhouette shooting in sportsman class using single odd bullpup, but according to, I'm not sure, probably new rules, I didn't met this limitation before because I didn't use just large magazines. It's allowed to use magazine not more than 80 pellets loaded. So as a fact, all FX Impact M3 air guns or just FX Impact are automatically not allowed to use magazines because they are over 18 loaded shot magazines. So it's a kind of a bit of strange stories for me because it looks like special limitations not to allow some kind of guns to participate in these air gun competitions. Well, it's just the rules. Another situation that I've met is during field target shooting. I didn't have enough experience with my FX Impact M3 because I've received it only in August and I didn't have a lot of shooting practice with it. So I've made several mistakes. During my airgun was cocked up and the barrel was open, so I couldn't make a shot. I just pulled the trigger and there was no shot at all, and even air didn't leave the barrel because I just forget to push the cocking lever to forward position. And most of judges told that, all right, it's not a shot, according to international field target rules, because it said that if the air leaves the barrel, it's thought as a shot. If an air doesn't leave the barrel, even if you push the trigger, so it's not counted as shot. But at one of the last stages where Lauren Parson was a judge, and she is very experienced field target shooter, so respect to her. I had the same mistake, and she counted it as a scoreable shot. I just tried to find out why did she do it, but she told that she's match director, and I just have to continue shooting because my time is running out. All right. Then I asked just to show me the rules, of course, after the match, where such rules are described. She told that somewhere in American field target rules it's told, but I didn't see it. Well, a kind of funny moment, because I had fun shooting this field target, and I didn't pretend to get any gold medals or something like that. So, all right, I understood that I won't get any help during competitions, and all my mistakes just could lead me to disqualification, and that means that I must not make any mistake at all. And that's what I tried to do during my Benchrest shooting, because it's my main event and it's my main competition for which I have been prepared for several years. Some people will say that I was not lucky enough to get the first place. Look, guys, it's not quite correct to say because I was extremely lucky to get the second place. If you will follow the link and see me shooting finals, you will see that when people have some voice in their head, I think that it's a kind of schizophrenia. I think it's called something like that, mental disease. I didn't have any voice in my head, but I had very exact feeling and knowledge that I don't have to shoot to scoreable target zone at this very moment. And it really saved me twice, because every time I followed my inner voice, let it call that way, I made a shot to sight-in target, and every time it was twice. Pellet went to just awful zone, to 3-score zone, or even just away from the target. So I'm extremely lucky to get the second place, because if I didn't listen to my inner voice, and if I didn't shoot to sight-in target, if I made a shot to scoreable target, I think that I won't be even in first 10 shooters. So guys, it's really, I appreciate all mental, physical, spiritual, and all other support that I had from people who wanted me to win and people who just wished me luck. And I really felt it, and you can see all the proofs in that video. Just take your time, look at that videos. And I want to say that I was very happy to see several new young shooters, because all videos I do on YouTube, they don't bring me any money, but I make them just to develop our competitions and our airgun sports. It was just great, because I think that at least 15 or 20 shooters came and started shooting after seeing my videos in Russia. I don't know, probably someone already started shooting sports watching my English speaking videos, but I hope that it will help, because I don't earn anything with it, so I do just for developing our sports. As you can see, there were not a lot of shooters in sportsman class, and as far as I remember, in 2019, a situation differed and almost all benches were filled with shooters. So 2021 changed, and as I told before, it seemed to me that there were much less participants this time than it was in 2019. There can be different reasons, and just it's for you to decide what happened this time. Let me just tell you a few words. Why did I choose a fixed impact M3 to shoot these competitions? We've got to go back to Rocky Mountain Airgun Challenge when I found out that I can't take my Daystate Red Wolf Safari to Rocky Mountain Airgun Challenge because it was sent to Russia as a the same as licensed firearm gun. So I had to get special government permission to take it away from country, and I didn't have time for it. That's why great thanks to Justin Jacobson. He told me that he can give me any gun I want, but he recommended me try to shoot FX Impact M3 when I come to Rocky Mountain Airgun Challenge, and I came to the United States to this competition without any air gun. He spent several days with me just helping me to adjust all the settings to my usual settings and to get the best results. And at that very moment I understood that this is the most adjustable gun that I've ever dealt with, because you don't need to disassemble it to regulate any parameter you need. It doesn't mean you need to regulate valve spring tension or hammer spring tension or one of two regulators. You can do it without disassembling the gun, and very fast. It's just perfect, because I didn't have experience with such kind of guns. If to compare it with my Daystate Red Wolf Safari, it's nice gun, but from time to time, almost every time when I shoot, I've mentioned that the velocities of the projectile changes. So I had to make some corrections to be in the high accuracy speed corridor, as we call it in Russia. And the only way to do it in Safari is to make several settings very close to each other. And in this situation, we will have gun that will be able to shoot only one projectile. I didn't like it because I've made several setups for light pellets, 18 grain, for 25 pellets, second one, and for it seems to me 25 grain or 30 grain slugs at the very high level. So the only way to change the settings for 25 grain projectile is to connect, to get the stock away, to disassemble the gun, to connect the programmer, and to change the program of the gun. Of course, it's not suitable at all when you shoot competitions. That's the other reason that made me use FX Impact M3. And I really like this gun, and as you can see, the results are not low. I think that if I had an opportunity to shoot this gun just a bit more, to practice a bit more, result could be much better. So now I have time, and it's winter coming, and winter is time of experiments. As for me, experiments with air guns, when you can adjust all the settings needed, when you can just be prepared to the next shooting and competition season. So I will do my best to get the best result. And now you can see how I use the single load tray during speed silhouette shooting. And it was really fun, because I understood that I can't get any high place there, but I did my best to shoot well. And I didn't miss even one time, and I did it as fast as I could. But as I told before, it's not possible to win speed silhouette shooting competitions with bullpup in single load mode. Just believe me. Of course, there should be used a carbine, like for example FX Crown MEK2, and I'm waiting for this gun right now. And in this situation, it's quite possible. So I've made it just, I think, in 1 minute 50 seconds or something like that. I didn't go to finals, but I didn't need to go to finals to participate in one gun challenge. So my aim was reached, and I was very happy with it, and I had fun. And just a few words about Utah Airguns team. Guys, I've never felt such a team spirit. Although I participated in boxing competitions, in kickboxing competitions when I was young, and now have my own club in Russia, we have our team, but this very warm attitude, willing to help, willing to support, just willing to speak to you and just to help you any way they can, it's really priceless. And I'm very happy that I'm in this team, and I'm very thankful to Justin Jacobson for inviting me, because if I didn't have this experience, I couldn't feel it. And it's such a perfect feeling when you know that your team members are standing by your back and supporting you wanting you to win, and you really feel it. It's really important. So just great things to this team, and I'm very proud to be there. Another thing I should mention is Justin Jacobson's support to his team. His daughter got married on Friday, and he came just for 2 days to Extreme Benchrest competitions on Saturday to support his team, to support his guys, and to be with them. Very grateful for it. Just we spent not so much time this time, but we had very warm talk, friendly talk, and very good, really. Well, after Saturday's competitions, we've got a banquet where results were announced, who will go to finals, and I was happy to know that I've got to 100 yards distance finals, because my first card at 75 yards was just excellent as for me, and it seems to me that was one of the best cards of the day, or even the best one. I'm not sure. We've got to check the results. I don't remember them. And the second day result didn't make me happy, because I didn't like the result, and as for me, it was rather low. But as a fact, I was in finals, and I had rather high place there, and I've got to say that I've did my best, and all I could to get the highest result, and that's why I'm absolutely satisfied with this result. Of course, it's not an easy task to overcome yourself when you was the champion previous year, and I understand that I'm not a champion this time, but I did my best and I couldn't do better. And that's an approach that I teach my children with. I always tell that you've got to do the best you can, all you can, and result doesn't matter. When you can say absolutely honestly to yourself that you did your best, it means that you did everything fine, and there is no any reason to be upset. I think that it is that very situation, because I've spent all my powers, all my knowledge. I did everything I could to get the best result, and the second place is very good. And I want to just state that Tom Adams, really good shooter, he is champion this time, so I want to congratulate him. Very nice guy and very good shooter. I hope that we'll have an opportunity to compete next years again, if I'll be able to get United States visa, and this task is almost impossible for me, unfortunately, almost impossible. During the awards, a lot of people won a lot of prizes, and again, just I'm a man of comparison. I always get used to compare the results, the quantity of people, and even the ticket rumble during the rewards. And I've got to say that again, if to compare Rocky Mountain Organ Challenge and Extreme Benchrest, it seems to me that Rocky Mountain Organ Challenge nowadays is much more represented by the shooters. So there were more shooters at Rocky Mountain Organ Challenge. There were more prizes. They were more expensive. There was much more reach, as it seems to me, raffle. And I've got to say that I'm very happy to see how many shooters from Utah Airguns team and from Utah won prizes and took their golds and took their silvers and bronze. It's just perfect. And again, we can see all this support that was there, and this is just in Welsh. He won the gold place in one of competitions, and he just made a gift because he won that full auto air gun, and he made a gift to another man who needed support. Just a huge heart he has, and always pleasure to talk to this guy. He's such a friendly, funny, and supportive. So Justin Welsh is a very good guy, as all other guys from Utah. Just great pleasure for me. So I've gained new experience, and it was really good, because as for me, the most valuable thing in our life is our knowledge and our experience, and I've gained it here, so it's very well. My road back home was also not easy, because my air gun was fully checked with transport security Association, TSA, guys, I don't remember how it's called correctly, in Phoenix Airport. They sealed it. There were no any questions to it. But again, it was opened in New York Airport. They cut away the TSA approved locks. And when it came back to Russia, the security guys, they were shocked because they've got a gun case with a gun without any locks. When I came to the gun room, security room, they just told what happened, how could it be? Let's just make a claim. But you know, guys, it was a very long trip for me. It took me about 30 hours to get back home. And I was really tired, and I was not ready to make any claims, to call police, to go through all these formalities to get someone punished. But probably I should do it. I just didn't have any powers for it because I was tired. I just wanted to go home and just to have my rest. After coming home, immediately I've got sick, and I was sick for, I think, 3 weeks. I had to go to my main job, of course, but I had flu, headache, and just sore throat. It wasn't good at all, and I understood just my body was very tired. I don't think that I will ever more go twice to the United States just in 2 or 2.5 months period. It's not easy at all because we have 9 and 10 hours difference between Russia and United States, quite different climates, and I'm very happy that in 2022 Rocky Mountain Organ Challenge will be in June and Extreme Benchrest will be in October. Just I will have time to have some rest. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked it. Subscribe. Bye.